रघुनाथान्वितं त्वं सजीवम् साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्ण चैतन्यदेवम् श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् साधन ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासदि गौरभक्तवृन्द Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Radha Ramana Prabhuji, Dandat Pranams.
Pranam Prabhu.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Let me spotlight. Hare Krishna devotees, Dandat Pranams to all. Please accept my humble obeisances. We welcome all of you for the today's morning program, Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. And today we are very fortunate to have His Grace Radha Ramana Prabhu, and he will enlighten us on Srimad Bhagavatam, 5th canto, 6th chapter, and text 13. Over to you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we'll just start with Jai Radha Madhava before we go to this. Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jai Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Gopijana Vallabha Girivaradhari Yashodhanandana Bhaja Janaranjana Yashodhanandana Bhaja Janaranjana Yamuna Tira Vanachari Yamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Narayam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Ashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Nanda Gopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Mukam Karoti Vacharam Pangum Lakaheti Girim Yatkripatam Aham Vande Paramanandam Shri Guru Dinatan Shri Chaitanya Ishwar Hare Krishna. So we are reading, I understand, from the Bhagavatam 5th canto, 6th chapter, verse number 13. Yeah, okay. So I'll just recite the shloka and then you can recite in mute, your own. Tasyanugunan shlokan gayanti aho bhuva sapta samudravatya दीपेषु वर्षेषु अधिपुण्यमेतत् गायन्ति यत्रत्य जना मुरारे कर्माणि भद्राणि अवतारवन्ति तस्यानुगुणान् श्लोकान् गायन्ति अहो भुवः सप्तसमुद्रवत्या द्वीपेषु वर्षेषु अधिपुण्यमेतत् गायन्ति यत्रत्य जना मुरारे कर्माणि भद्राणि अवतारवन्ति तस्यानुगुणान् श्लोकान् गायन्ति अहो भुव सप्तसमुद्रवत्या द्वीपेषु वर्षेषु अधिपुण्यमेतत् गायन्ति यत्रत्य जना मुरारे कर्माणि भद्राणि अवतारवन्ति meaning and translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Srila Prabhupada. Tasya, of him, Lord Rishabhadeva, Anugunan, conforming to the instructions for liberation. Shlokan, verses, Gayanti, chant. Aho, O, Kubaha, of this earthly planet. Sapta Samudravatyaha, possessing 7 seas. Dvipeshu, among the islands. Varsheshu, among the lands. Adhipunyam, more pious than any other island. Etat, this Bharata Varsha. Gayanti, sing about. Yatratya Janaha, the people of this tract of land. Murarehe, of Murari, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Karmani, the activities. Bhadrani, all auspicious. Avataravanti, in many incarnations, such as Lord Rishabhadev. Translation: learned scholars chant about the transcendental activities of Lord Rishabhadev in this way. Oh, this earthly planet contains 7 seas and many islands and lands, of which Bharatavarsha is considered the most pious. People of Bharatavarsha are accustomed to glorifying the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his incarnations as Lord Rishabhadeva and others. All these activities are very auspicious for the welfare of humanity. Purport: Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, Bharata bhumite haila manushya janma yar. Janma sartaka kari kara para upakar. As stated in the verse, Bharatavarsha is a most pious land. The followers of Vedic literature understand the Supreme Personality of Godhead in his different incarnations, and they are privileged to glorify the Lord by following the directions of Vedic literature. After realizing the glories of human life, such people should take up the mission to spread the importance of human life throughout the world. This is the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. The word Adhipunyam indicates that there are certainly many other pious men throughout the world. But the people of Bharatavarsha are even more pious. Therefore, they are fit to spread Krishna consciousness throughout the world for the benefit of all human society. Srila Madhvacharya also recognizes the land of Bharatavarsha, Visheshat Bharate Punyam. Throughout the world, there is no question of Bhagavad Bhakti or devotional service. But the people of Bharatavarsha can easily understand the devotional service of the Lord. Thus, every inhabitant of Bharatavarsha can perfect his life by discharging Bhagavad Bhakti and then preaching this cult throughout the world for the benefit of everyone. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya, Krishna Pristaya Bhutare Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Name Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharini Vishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatari. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we're discussing the 5th canto. The 5th canto is a bit of a difficult canto to understand as we go forward. But here, we are still right in the beginning in the 6th chapter. See, the Bhagavatam covers 10 topics. Every Mahapurana or major Purana has 10 topics. Like the Bhagavad Gita has 5 topics. Similarly, the Bhagavatam has 10 topics which it covers, and that's what a Mahapurana covers. For example, it should cover Sarga, Visarga, Sthanam, Poshanam, Utya, Uttaya, Manvantarani, Ishanu Katha, Avataranu Charitam, Nirodha, Muktihi, Ashraya. What is Ashraya? Is the one we should take shelter of. And especially this 5th canto discusses about Sthanam. And one of the 10 subject matters in Bhagavatam. Sthanam is actually Sthitihi Vaikuntha Vijaya. The right situation for the living entities is to obey the orders of the Lord. Sthanam refers to the Lord's protection of his devotees. And this shows the excellence of the Lord. Sthitihi refers to the condition of the jivas, and Vaikuntha Vijayaha means that the Lord destroys their suffering. Sthana is also the geography of the universe, where the demigods, men, and demons reside, and its protection by the demigods. The maintenance of the inhabitants of Bhuloka, Patala, and Swarga, who are situated there within their governing rules, is the main subject matter, which is discussed in Canto 5. And in Canto 5, it actually begins with, about Swayambhuva's Manu's. Well, Swayambhuva Manu's children, it starts in the 3rd canto. And then from there, we start about Akuti, Prasuti, Devahuti as the daughters. And then he talks about Priyavrata and Uttanapada as the 2 sons. And the 5th canto starts, and as you know, in 3rd canto, Devahuti, and 4th canto, Daksha and his wife. So all these things go on there. So in this one, and then Uttanapada is in the 4th canto. And then 5th canto, now little about Priyavrata Maharaj comes. In the 4th canto, starting with the lineage of Uttanapada, and then it goes on to discusses Dhruva Maharaj and his lineage up to the Prachetas. And then Daksha, another Daksha comes, the previous Daksha in the 4th canto, he had a pastime with Lord Shiva. That Daksha reappears in another birth as in the dynasty of the Prachetas. So, and then 5th canto talks about Priyavrata Maharaj, who actually since childhood wanted to leave the house and go to the forest. And so that's why Uttanapada became the king at that time. And then Priyavrata served Narada and became fully knowledgeable of the highest goal and the truth and about bhakti and all these things. And then he was constantly engaged in bhakti, and by the instruction of his superiors, Manu, Brahma, etc., he returns to take care of the kingdom because there was no one else to manage the kingdom at that time. And he carried out the order, and then he's the one who actually goes around and creates 7 concentric circles, which become the islands, which is talked about here, the 7 seas. The 7 seas are what? One is saltwater ocean, I think, if I remember right. Another is sugarcane ocean. There's an ocean of ghee. There's an ocean of liquor. Then there's ocean of milk, ocean of yogurt, and drinking water. And then they're named, the center island is named Jambudvipa, Plakshadvipa, and it goes on, I think, Ushadvipa. Anyway, then there are 7 islands, and we are in the center. Because I don't want to make this a geography class, but I'm trying to come to the concept of Bharata Varsha, because the Bharata Varsha here is called Adhipunyam. So from there, I'm trying to just come there. So in Jambudvipa, there is Meru Parvata in the center, and on the southern side of the Meru Parvata is this Bharata Varsha. There are actually many Varshas. There is Ilavrata Varsha in the center, right around Meru Parvata. So it's very just easy. I mean, it's very difficult, but here what I'm talking is Jambudvipa in the center, 7 seas around, and each of them are an island. And in the center, there's Meru Parvata, and then Ilavrata Varsha. Actually, right below that Meru Parvata, at the south, there is Sukumara forest, where Lord Shiva and Parvati also reside there. Ilavrata Varsha, Hari Varsha, Kim Purusha Varsha, and then further south is Bharata Varsha. And the Bharata Varsha is divided into 9 sections, of which the southernmost tip is known as Bharata Kanda. So it is said that among the 9 divisions of the Jambudvipa, there's our central Jambudvipa is divided into 9. The tract of land known as Bharata Varsha is understood to be the field of karma. So all this is described in the 17th chapter about Bharata Varsha, and then also in the 19th chapter of the 5th canto. So you can refer to that more. It is a bit of a complex topic for me too. The tract of land is Bharata Varsha is understood to be the field of karma. And the other 8 Varshas are known as heaven on earth. So you can have Swarga in the higher planets like Indraloka, Swargaloka, and all those things there. And even in our Jambudvipa, of all the 9 Varshas, the 8 Varshas are known to be heaven on earth. It's like a Bhauma Swarga. And Bharata Varsha is a place where is a field of karma. So even after finishing your punya, see, whenever we engage in some form of noble activities or welfare activities, it may be in the form of schools, anatha-ashrama, and anything, helping the poor, helping the blind, so many things, building roads, constructing wells, everything is some form of charity, helping support. Of course, we go to the highest charity later in our discussion here. But these are all, when you earn some punya, then we are going to go to the higher planets, any punya karma activities. So we go to Swarga Loka. Of course, in our Sampradaya, we are only after pure devotional service, because our Brahma Bhuvana Loka Punaravartino. From topmost planet to the Brahma Loka to the lowest planet is a place of suffering. And we don't want to go in this giant wheel of up and down, up and down. But what I'm saying is now, if anyone does such activities, they go to the higher planets. And then when the punya is getting exhausted, you have to come and exhaust your small remaining punya in one of the Bhauma Swarga, is my understanding. And then slowly you are guided to the Bharata Varsha, which is the field of karma, where it is, a place of karma. So enjoy the remaining. So as I said, so there are 3 Swargas. There is the Divya Swarga, the higher planets, Bhauma Swarga, and the subterranean planets. Even in the lower ones, there is a form of Swarga even in the lower planets. So this is in the 17th chapter of the Bhagavatam, where it says, Eshu Purushanam Ayuta Purushayu. Here the Devatas, they live for 10,000 years according to our earthly calculations. They have a very big bodily strength. The youthful duration of life is very pleasing, and their happiness is like that of the human beings who lived in Treta Yuga. So anyway, this goes on, and you can read about that later there if you're interested. And in this Bharata Varsha, it was actually known as, Priyavrata first, he had a son called Agnidhara. He was the first son, and he had a few children, Nabhi, Kim Purusha, Harivarsha. He had about 9 sons, and he told each of them to take care of one of those sections of Bharata Varsha. And then Nabhi, with Meru Devi, they gave birth to the son Rishabhadeva. Rishabhadeva is like a Shaktyavesh avatar. Nabhi was ruling Ajnama Varsha. And then Rishabhadev, he gave birth. And Rishabhadev had 100 sons. And as a true Rajarishi, as a true ruler, he gave amazing instructions to his son, which was even favorite to Prabhupada, those verses, and very heavy. Nayam deho dehabajam riloke kashtan kavan arahate vidbujanye tapo divyam putrakayena shutyet satvam. So in that he's saying the real goal of human life is not to live like pigs and animals or stool-eating pigs. It is meant to do great tapasya. That is the first instruction he gave his children. See, even if you see when our material world was going through the process of creation, Brahma came out of the lotus. The first word he was told was tapasya. So human life is meant to do great austerities, tapasya. So, and then he continues. So that's the first instruction he gives his children. Then he further goes on, Mahat Seva Andvara, engage in serving great souls. Mahatmans Tumam Partha, Devim, they're all under this direct Devim Prakriti Ashrita. So here, from realized souls, we are not interested in just academic souls. We are realized souls, those who have realized these things. And we'll continue to see what is that. And then he talks of Parabhavastava Bodha Jata Yavanna Jignasata Atma Tattvam. So he goes on and on, heavy verses. That whoever is just engaged in material activities, they will face defeat in life. They will Parabhavastava Bodha Jata. If they don't inquire Yavanna Jignasata Atma Tattvam about the Atma Tattva. Jivasya Tattva Jignasa. The role of a jiva is to inquire into the absolute truth, is to inquire into Shastra for his own welfare, and not only for his own welfare, even for the welfare of the others. So Rishabhadeva had a son called Bharata, first son. And it was because of him, this Ajnaba Varsha was renamed as Bharata Varsha. So this Bharata Varsha, and then you can hear in the 19th chapter more about Bharata Varsha. So Bharata Varsha is then divided into 9 divisions, as I told you, and the lowest is called Bharata Kingdom. So that's why if you go to any yajnas, homas, major pujas, they do a Sankalpa mantra, if you have heard. Adhya Brahmana, Ditya Parade, Shvetavaraha Kalpe, then about Brahma's age, which Shvetavaraha, Vaivasata Manvantare, about the Manvantara, we are in Kali Yuga, Pratama Pade, we are in the first Pratama Pada, Jambhu Dvipe, we are residing in Jambhu Dvipa, Bharata Varshe, Bharata Kande, so we are in this Bharata Varsha and Bharataka, Meroho, Dakshina Parshve, south of Meru. And then whichever river you are near, Kaveri Nadi Tire or Godavari or whatever, whichever. And then your exact location. Then you come to Banashankari, Kumarswamy, or whatever. So we describe our location in that way. So Bharata Varsha is considered most pious. So this Bharata Varsha, of course, during the time, so as I said, Bharata Varsha is not our India. It's a bigger region. And then in that region, we are one small Bharata Khande, we are one earth, or what we want to call. And then even during the time of Mahabharata, this whole world was described as Mahabharata, greater India. We were all, the full world was a full India. So, and then of that, this tract of our India today, which we call Bharata, was even more pious. Because the Supreme Lord appeared here, Lord Ramachandra appeared here, Lord Krishna appeared here, the great Acharyas, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appeared here, the great Acharyas such as Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, Shankaracharya, Vishnu Swami, so many, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Bhaktivinoda Thakur, so many, Narottam Das Thakur, they all appeared in India. What to speak, the Supreme Lord himself has appeared here. So our tract of India is even more holy and pious and very fortunate that way. Of course, In the verse, Yada Yada Hi Dharmasya Glanir Bhavati Bharata, in that the commentary of Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he discusses why the Supreme Lord appeared in this when the whole so India is described as so big. Why the Supreme Lord had to appear in our tract of India? Why couldn't he have appeared in Europe? Why couldn't he have appeared in Australia? I mean, we discussed, right, so many things. Everything was a part of our India. For example, actually, Srila Prabhupada says in the Bhagavatam, Brazil is a part of the kingdom of Ravana. He says. And then recently, just 2 days back, I saw on YouTube where some person has done some research or something, and he comes in this podcast of a very famous guy in Bombay who does all these podcasts, a young guy. In that, he's saying we have found in research that South America belonged to Ravana. So we already have that. Prabhupada's given like that. So many countries, Russia, even Rome. The Italian capital Rome came from the word Rama. It was Roma. Roma became anglicized as Rome. And so many things can be found in this. But he appeared in this part of India. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur says, why the Supreme Lord appeared here and not in those countries is because in this tract of land in the whole world, Varnashrama Dharma was followed. That's why the Supreme Lord Krishna, Varnashrama Dharma was followed completely, 100%. And so that's why the Supreme Lord appeared here, Rama and all these things. So Varnashrama Dharma is given so much importance. So now we have come to Bharata Varsha. So Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, Bharata Bhumite Haila Manushya Janma Yara Janma Sarthaka Kari Kara Paro Upagha. So the activities of the Bharata Varsha is the most pious land. Now Srila Prabhupada is talking about our India or the greater India. I don't know, but greater India is also pious and our India is also more pious, the greater Bharata and our Bharata. And so the best way is, he says here in this purport, is after realizing, so here, to glorify the Lord by following the directions of Vedic literature. So it is very important to follow the directions of Vedic literature. We may not be at that level, but we have to climb to that level of trying to follow the directions of the Vedic literature as far as possible completely. Because in the Bhagavad Gita it says, Ye Shastra Vidibhutsrijya Vartate Kamakarataha Nasasiddhim Avapnoti Na Sukham Na Param Gatim. What happens if one does not follow the scripture, Shastra Vidhim, the Vidhis of the Shastra, Utsrijya, he rejects Utsrijya. Then what happens? He will act whimsically. Even sometimes, we may say, because we are not at that level, we can, in the name of practicality or trying to be balanced, we may engage in activities outside Shastra, but that is our opinion because of our conditioning. There are people who are greater in the ladder of bhakti, in the ladder of Shastra, in the ladder of Sanatana Dharma. So that's why we have to always hear from those who are higher up in the ladder and more realize and try to follow in their footsteps, especially in the footsteps of the previous acharyas. Did our previous acharya, when we do certain activity, we should always think, did our previous acharyas do all these activities? And then think carefully before we do something. So, vartate kamakaratha. Then if we don't follow, we don't get nasasiddhin, we don't get any perfection. Avapnoti, we don't attain any perfect. Na sukham, we don't get happiness. Of course, everyone is searching for happiness, whether it is a squirrel or a dog or a crow, every one of human being, all animals are searching for one thing, happiness. And real happiness is here in following the directions of the Vedic literature. So we don't get happiness. Everywhere, so many places we see it says, even Susukham Kartum Abhyayam, Bhakti is so easy that it can be performed joyfully. And what is Ananda? What is real happiness? Everything is described in following the Vedic literature. Na Paramgati, nor do we attain the Paramgati, supreme destination. So That is the main importance of following under the directions of the Vedic literature. And after realizing the glories of human life, such people should take up the mission to spread the importance of human life. So once we realize, so it's like doctor, heal thyself before you heal others. So we have to somehow engage in healing ourselves first by applying the principles. If we don't apply the principles, then we are going to teach others wrong principles. So, and that is the mission of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So our work, the work of the Gaudiya Acharyas is Paropakara, the most supreme welfare work. For example, beginning after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came the 6 Goswamis. And about them it is written, Nana Shastra Vicharanai Kanipunau Sadharma Samstapakau Lokanam Hitakarino, for the benefit, for the welfare of Loka. Lokanam Hitakarino Tribhuvane Manyo Sharanyakar Radha Krishna Padaravinda Bhajananandela Mattalikau Vande Rupa Sanatanau Raghuyugo Sri Jiva Gopalakau. So Nana Shastra Vicharane Nipano. So they're all expert in Nana Shastra, various Shastras. See, Kali Yuga is extremely difficult for all of us to read all Shastras. So many Vedas, so many Upanishads, so many Aranyakas, Samhitas, this, that. But these Goswamis were experts in all the Nana Shastra Vichara in inquiring into studying. They were all experts. Vichara Naika Nipuna. They were all Nipuna. Sadharma Samstapakau. And for establishing Sadharma, the eternal religious principles, and establishing Stapakau, Sadharma Samstapakau, establishing. What did they do? And for Loka Nam Hitakarino, and for the benefit of the whole Loka. Not only that, and for the benefit of the 3 worlds, Tribhuvane Manyosha, that's, and who are, I mean, not only that, they are honored in all those 3 worlds also, and even for that benefit, they established their books. Sadharmas, so there's so many books, wonderful books they gave, like Sandarbhas, Nectar of Devotion, Bhakti Rasamrita, Sindhu, Upadeshamrita, which is one of the first books, the first book, and the first shloka, where he immediately goes, Pacho Vegam, control your tongue. Manasa, control your tongue. First, this is the first book Prabhupada said one should read, and the first verse is right there, control tongue. So this was Rupa Goswami, Upadeshamrita. And they're honored all over the 3 worlds. So, for the benefit of the whole world, what do? They took out their time, studied all these Shastras, and gave these wonderful Shastras. So, even if we have to do all these activities, are very auspicious for the welfare of humanity. What is very glorifying the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And to understand how to glorify the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one has to come to Shastra. You cannot do scripture. You cannot get that anywhere else. That is the position of Shastra, that the name, form, leelas, activities, everything of the Supreme Lord is only here. That's why in the Vedanta Sutra, it even brings, after saying, Athato Brahma Jignasa. Next one, Janmadi Yasya Yataha. Then Shastra Yoni. But that about the Janmadi Asyata, everything emanates from him. And to learn about him, you have to, his birth, his appearance, everything takes place in the Shastra for us to understand. So we have to understand Shastra Yoga. And even Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Asmat Shastram Pramanam Karya Karyam Vyavastha. So one has to perform everything according to Shastra. And we can go on and on about this. But our Sampradaya, our movement is based on Shastra. Books are the basis. And only then we can give Paro Upakara. And on this topic of real welfare work, what is real welfare work? I just want to share something from our previous acharyas, especially Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur. I'm just reading verbatim from his thing, and then we'll just discuss it for a few minutes. Being averse to Vishnu, countless jivas have come to Mahamaya's dungeon. to envy Lord Vishnu in countless ways. So we have all entered this Mahamaya dungeon to envy Lord Vishnu in countless ways. This is the quality of a realized soul, how he writes. To deliver even one of them from Mahamaya's fortress. Mahamaya means Durga. Durga means fort, within her fort. And make him her devotee of Krishna is unlimitedly better welfare work than the construction of countless hospitals and schools. It's unlimitedly better. We are not saying hospital is not good. They are all okay, good, small welfare. But this is countlessly, unlimitedly better compared to that. Krishna Bhakti is the only way to deracinate miseries from the world. Okay, to anyway, remove miseries from the world. You are working only for the good of the body and treating. So he is talking to all these worldly, noble, people who are challenging him. That your missionary work, what is this? Simply some God and this and that you're talking. So you are working, he's telling them, you are working only for the good of the body and treating the symptoms, but not the original disease. Your patchwork schemes of various social, economic, and political ideologies are like blowing on a boil, which gives but a momentary and false sense of engagement. The real cure is to lance the boil. So lance means it's full, lance the boil and squeeze out the pus. Similarly, the pus of material attachment must be excised by sharp words of the expert devotee, the only genuine well-wisher of human society. So Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur noted that philanthropists are busy making arrangements for sense gratification of human beings, but do not know what constitute legitimate welfare activities. So if you see our previous acharyas, Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Thakur, their main aim was to establish pure bhakti for the real welfare of people by lacerating or by removing or by destroying sense gratification, attacking sense gratification. So describing mundane welfare work as ultimately injurious, being performed due to and keeping people in the bodily conception of life, because all these other activities, sense gratification especially. See, in today's world, advancement in civilization, progress means advancement in sense gratification. When we say we want our society, our thing is advanced, what does it mean? We are advanced in sense gratification, not in spiritual activities, in the mundane term. Describing mundane welfare work as ultimately injurious, being performed due to and keeping people in the bodily conception of life, which is opposed to their intrinsic self-interest. Gaudiya Math magazines regularly ran articles such as "The Fraud Behind Altruism." Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur defined genuine altruism, genuine welfare work, as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's unique Amanando Daya. So he writes, there has not been and will not be such benefactors of the highest merit as Mahaprabhu and his devotees. The offer of other benefits is only a deception. So anything else beyond this is only a deception, indeed a great harm. Whereas the benefit done by him and his followers is the truest and topmost eternal benefit. This benefit is not for one particular country causing mischief to another, but is benefit for the whole universe. So this benefit is not for one particular country causing mischief to another. But you know how countries work. They for the benefit of their own country, materially, they want to cause harm to another country, mischief to another. But it's benefit for the whole universe. Welfare work is good. Not saying welfare work is bad. It's good, but it has two defects. It directly or indirectly encourages godlessness. and supports violence to animals and other living entities. Say how beautifully played. So here in this verse, we are seeing people of Bharatavarsha accustomed to glorifying the activities of Supreme Lord as very auspicious for the welfare of humanity. So that is the highest welfare. And here we are seeing the other welfare work has two effects. What? It directly or indirectly encourages godlessness and supports violence to animals and other living entities. Today, even for hospital care and other kinds of medicines, there is a lot of cruel things done to animals, unfortunately. And in everything, even for the poor in abroad, if they want to feed, they give cow meat in the name of altruism. There's a famous video where Prabhupada is discussing with a Christian missionary in France on this whole subject. Whatever attempts we make to help others while neglecting the divinity are useless. Nor are we in favor of practicing spiritual life for any personal advantage. Those who want to utilize sadhus to accomplish something mundane. So those who want to use sadhus to accomplish something mundane, sometimes we go to sadhu just to get a confirmation, to endorse our material thinking, our material activity. Those who want to utilize sadhus to accomplish something mundane demonstrate that they have no respect whatsoever for sadhus. Ordinary altruism is not the goal of life. In the human form, there is much more important duty to serve Bhagavan. Serving Bhagavan can permanently liberate people from their material distress and allow them to taste eternal happiness. Our intention is to transform the entire human population to practitioners of bhakti. Serving Bhagavan is the soul's supreme eternal dharma. Hearing Sri Chaitanya's teachings on this point will, in all respects, help everyone. Bharata bhumi te haila manushya janma yar. Janma sartaka kari karapara upakar. One who has taken his birth as a human being, manushya janma, in Bharatavarsha, should make his life successful. First, he should make his life successful and then work for the benefit of others. Sri Chaitanya Deva preached throughout the world for the welfare of all jivas. Yet, the welfare work he proposed was not a small-minded, paltry, stopgap, changeable, or imaginary pie-in-the-sky type. Like that envisaged by so-called social reformers and mundane philanthropists. The welfare work he proposed is of the highest caliber, neither temporary nor insignificant. The way to uplift others already invented, being invented, and about to be invented by ordinary human beings, according to their narrow considerations, will in no way profit anyone because they're all makeshift. They're all temporary. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu revealed the actual means of elevating others. Vedyam Vastavam Atravastu Shivadam Tapa Trayon Mulanam. This is from the Bhagavatam Dharma Projit Kaitavatra Paramo Nirvatsarana. That verse. The Bhagavata Purana describes the actual subject of knowledge, Atravastu, which is auspicious, Shivadam. Tapatrayon Mulam. So Vedyam Vastavam Atravastu, the actual subject, which is auspicious, Shivadam. Tapatrayon Mulanam uproots the threefold miseries. See, no other activity, welfare activity, uproots the three modes of material nature. It actually engages us further and further, deeper and deeper into the three modes of material nature. I mean, they may look very attractive, for example, politics or opening so many orphanages and all that. You get great, you may even get Padma Shri, Padma Bhushan for all these welfare works. I mean, do great realized devotees Bhakti Siddhanta, Chaitanya, are they all getting Padma Shris? No, or some welfare work, they're all getting. So the process of doing good for others, as described in Srimad Bhagavatam, was discovered and refined by Sri Chaitanya Deva. This process destroys the threefold miseries, whereas the usual forms of mundane welfare work imagined by thoughtful persons of this world are neither beneficial nor able to deliver the ultimate goal of life. They cannot even destroy material miseries. Distresses are the effect of a particular cause. Until the cause is terminated, so distresses are the effect of a particular cause. So there may be a cause. For example, uh, I ate meat. So you're going to have some distress. The body will not take it, or you'll get some disease. So until the cause is terminated, the effect will remain. So you might have performed a certain bad karma, right? And then, so you just cannot engage in small welfare works to kill that karma. Unless the root of a banyan tree is destroyed, it will again sprout, even if one cuts down its trunk and branches thousands of times. The thousands of man-made proposals for social welfare are like an attempt to empty the ocean. Amazing comparison is going to give. The thousands of man-made proposals for social welfare are like an attempt to empty the ocean with one's bare hands. So that was, even if thousands of people engage continuously in such an endeavor for thousands of yugas, they will never be successful. By doing so, they may cause a vast body of water to accumulate elsewhere. So one material solution is giving another material problem. Similarly, we cannot empty the ocean of material suffering by our own strength. At most, we will simply succeed in transferring the problem elsewhere. Of course, by doing that, we can certainly deceive others and even ourselves. The threefold miseries cannot be vanquished without following the instructions of the Srimad Bhagavata. There are unlimited varieties of distress, and we cannot invent a way to end even one of them. They are caused by ignorance in the form of forgetfulness of the Supreme Lord. That ignorance both covers the living entities and hurls them into further throes. Until we terminate the cause, we will never overcome the miserable effect. If we wish to help others, we must propagate devotional service. If the Lord's message is preached around the world, then all countries and all people will achieve the greatest success of all time. Devotional service benefits all beings in all countries at all times. Those who chant the Lord's glories uplift every living entity on the planet, including beasts, birds, demigods, asuras, and even trees, creepers, and stones. So this is a whole article he wrote on this the genuine altruism, the fraud behind altruism. Very wonderful article. You should think about reading this again and again. Especially the first point itself, he begins so strong. Welfare work is good, but has two defects. Directly or indirectly encourages godlessness and supports violence to animals and other living entities. Even when Prabhupada met Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he said, who will listen to your message now? India is in a state of subjugation by the British. And, the real welfare work is to free India from the British. And Saraswati Thakur similarly defeated our Prabhupada with the message that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's message, the Shastras are much more important. Even once, when someone told Saraswati Thakur, you're simply going on and building temples. Why don't you renovate the existing temples, all the old temples which are not supported by the government, and do that? He said, no, our mission is not to simply build temples with bricks and stones and cement. Our mission is to build a temple in everyone's heart. He even said that I don't mind selling all this marble and granite, whatever, in this temple, and printing more and more books, because the books will spread everywhere. So that much importance he gave for books, because Janma Karma Chame Divyam Evam Yo Veti Tatvataha Tyakva Deham Punarjanma Naiti Mameti Swarjuna. The activities, these books describe the Janma Karma Chame Divyam, which frees one from birth and death. So that much importance he gave for books. So temples or any house or centers, everything should be only dedicated as educational activities to glorify the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and propagate this real welfare work. I mean, there's much more I can read from this, but I will conclude here. And so we discussed about, the 10 topics of the Bhagavata. From the 10 topics of the Bhagavata, how the fifth canto is about Sthanam. And from there, we went on to discuss about how the descendants of Swayambhuva Manu, Akuti, Prasuti, Devahuti, and Uttanapada and Priyavrata, and Uttanapada, after Uttanapada's lineage, then Priyavrata was asked to take over. From Priyavrata, how he created the 7 seas, and the Jambudvipa, from Jambudvipa to Bharata, how Jambudvipa has 9 varshas, from 9 varshas to Bharata Varsha, from Bharata Varsha to Bharatakhanda. And from there, how the 9 sections were given to the various sons of Priyavrata's descendants, Agnidhra, and from there he had a son named Nabhi who was managing the Ajnaba Varsha. Ajnaba Varsha had a son, he had a son called Rishabhadev, and about Rishabhadev's teachings, which is also discussed here. The glories of Rishabhadev's activities are purified for real welfare work. And then he had a son called Bharata, and that's why it was named Bharata Varsha, Bharata Khanda. And from there, we came to our India, which is very pious, and Bharata Bhumi, how one born in such a land should first of all make his life successful by understanding, by following the directions of Vedic literature, and then doing Paropakara to everyone. And what is real Paropakara by reading Saraswati Thakur's works, and also understanding Nana, Shastra, Goswamis, and some of the previous acharyas. So I will conclude here. Any questions or any comments, anything we can discuss. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, thank you so much for the elaborating and at the end summarizing. So devotees' lines are already unmuted, so you can unmute and ask any questions. Sir. Come. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, devotees' lines are already unmuted.
Very good. No questions, I guess.
I think everybody is much clear, Prabhuji. So with the
I don't know that. Or it was too much for me also. Anyway.
Radha Mother, you wanted to ask something?
Yeah, Prabhu, you read from the last part, no? From where did you read that, Prabhu?
Mataji, this is from Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur's works, but it is put in this book, Bhakti Siddhanta Vaibhava, that altruism I read from here.
Yeah, last time you said.
But yeah. But that article was in the Harmonist, and they put that article here. So instead of going to Harmonist, I just read it from here.
Okay. Very nice, Prabhu. Very nicely you have told about the entire 5th chapter, and also you asked us to read about 17 and 19. And I think people who know the value of India, I think this chapter we should ask them to listen to this class. Thank you so much, Prabhu. Dandavad Pranam.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. One question, Prabhuji. Like, when mentioning about why Krishna appeared here in India, because here we follow the Varna. But Krishna says there is irreligion prevailing. So there
Krishna says?
Irreligion, like adharma,
Yeah.
to destroy that and then to establish the dharma. So then how to understand that and this project?
Oh, well, he will appear where irreligion is prominent. It's Varnashrama, so Kamsa was here, but it doesn't mean that Krishna did not have the opportunity to engage in a Varnashrama dharma, Or he appeared here to remove the demons such as Kamsa and all his associates and all that. But Varnashrama dharma as an occupation, For example, in Kamsa's time or the demons' time, there was no occupation like what do you say, major IT companies or Ugra Karma kind of companies. Varnashrama Dharma means a Brahmana is engaged in Yajan, Yajan, Patan, Patan. Vaishya is engaged in cow. Nanda Maharaj was not doing MBA classes, right? He was doing cows, farming, all these. So all this Varnashrama Dharma as an occupation, and also they were doing yajna, homa, performance of sacrifices. All that was still going on. It's not like it's not going on. You get all the, see, in this tract of land, you get everything available to conducive to perform even any Varnashrama Dharma. You have the cows, you have ghee, you can do sacrifices. Whereas in Western countries where you don't even get kusha grass back, growing because of snow or this or that. So irreligion can be there, but Varnashrama Dharma was as an occupation, as a Varna, as an ashrama, was all there. You have not heard of thousands of divorces in Kamsa's time, like that. So all those things.
Okay, Prabhu, thank you for the clarification. So if it is understood in the right way, so Varnashrama Dharma was being followed, but like these kings and they were misusing their power, like as a Kshatriya, this thing. So because of that, Adharma prevailed and then Krishna appeared.
Yeah, like killing people, killing unnecessary things. Yeah, engaging in all those activities, doing harm to others, religion.
Thank you, Prabhu.